Alright everybody, we're going to be talking about Ed, Ed, and Eddy The Mis-Edventures on the PlayStation 2. Going into the title screen, we hear they have the official theme song of Ed, and Eddy, and that is pretty cool. And all the save files are named after the Eds, so that's just a really nice touch. Before we jump into some gameplay, let's talk about what Ed, Ed, and Eddy really is. Ed, Ed, and Eddy was a 90s to early 2000s cartoon that took over the mantle of slapstick comedy. Like Looney Tunes before it, the show had tons of painful looking scenes and honestly had the greatest use of sound effects. I don't know a single other show that can compare in how memorable these sound effects are.
A comedian, huh?
The comedic timing is on point, and the characters feel like real kids you might have hung out with in your life. Danny Antonucci really created something amazing here, and the craziest thing is, he created this show off of a dare. Following the success of the show, Ed, Ed, and Eddy received 4 different video games, 3 of which are handheld games with basic controls and premise. However, one game did release on PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. That game is Ed, Ed, and Eddy The Mis-Edventures, a 3D adventure game where you get to play as all 3 Eds and trek through a game where the scenarios are loosely based on events from the show. They call these different events the scams. Before I start this game, I need to tell you all the truth. I have beaten this game over 30 times in my 30 years of life. I truly love playing this video game. However, this game was created by Artificial Mind and Movement, which is also known as Behavior Interactive. If you don't know who they are, these are the kind of games they have developed in their lifespan. Oh yeah, we are in good company.
Where are we gonna get enough ice to make snow cones?
I'm sure we could locate sufficient frost shavings in the backyard coolers of the neighborhood kids, Eddy.
I am cool like a cabbage, guys.
Okay. It looks like they're trying to recreate the animation from the actual show, but are using Flash from the early 2000s and made it look worse than animations you could have found on Newgrounds at the time. Well, at least they got all the voice actors. The characters sound good even if the animation is incredibly stiff. Let's get into the game. Oh god, they really tried to make the Eds look like the show, but in 3D. It kinda works for Big Ed, but Double D and Eddy are horrifying!
Behave!
To give the game some credit, you do get to control all of the Eds, and they do have different attacks and special skills. Let's steal the concept from Dispatch and rank what each character can do.
Come on!
Eddy has a fast, low-range attack and the El Mondo Stink Bomb as a stun. Double D has a slow melee attack with a ranged slingshot special. Ed has a fast headbutt attack and can throw heavy objects. They all have team-based moves as well. Tower of Eddy is used for long-range stink bombs, balance beams, and one scene in the game used for stealth. Double D has Trample Ed, where you can toss him to higher platforms. Ed has the best team move called Batter Ed. This move is a charge attack like Spyro's Horn Charge that deals double damage and can be used to simply get around faster. As long as you don't run into anything, because hitting stuff leaves you looking like this. Now I know it's only the first level, but I'm going to give you all a little spoiler. This first level is the only one that actually has you put together a scam. All the other levels are called scams, and they are in the sense that they scammed you into thinking that they would be anything like this first level. All the other levels in the game are not scams, which would be fine as many episodes of Ed, Ed, and Eddy don't have scams, but the game literally calls all the levels scams. Let's focus on what the first level offers. It does do a good job of explaining character strengths and gives you opportunities to use every Ed's powers. It starts by telling you that you can stun enemies with the stink bomb, and then gives a bunch of harmless animals to attack.
I'll tell Mom!
Then you get a chance to use Double D's slingshot to shoot Jimmy's toys.
I'll tell Mom!
Finally, you get Ed's lifting ability to throw a poor kitty at a rabid dog and harmless squirrels through a freaking window.
I'll tell Mom.
This game is labeled as an adventure game, and it kinda is, but what it really plays like is a puzzle platformer. There's nothing complicated about the puzzles, but the leaps in logic you need to take really makes you feel like you're playing as Ed or Eddy. For example, how would you get past a locked door in a video game? A. Use Double D's brains to lockpick the door. B. Use Eddy's cunning to find a hidden key for the door. C. Use Ed's strength to break down the door. The answer is C. But you don't just break down the door with Ed's insane power. First, you pick up a fucking fridge above your head, use it to weaken the door, then use your head to bash down the door. As stupid as this is, I could see the Eds doing something super extra like this in the show. Then, you are met with Rolf, a fan favorite of the show. He has a meatball maker we need to use for the snow cone scam. Rolf won't share his meatball maker though, so what do the Eds do? Well, obviously, they destroy the gate releasing his farm animals, forcing Rolf to ask for your aid in putting them back in their pen. If you do this, Rolf lets you use his machine for making snow cones. You just need to use Double D's engineering ability and the level will
Wait! One more thing.
Before you do anything, I forgot to mention, this game has collectibles. You can find money, hidden jawbreakers, and costume parts within almost every level. You need all three of these things for later. So make sure you found all the hidden jawbreakers, the hidden costume part which will be in a sandbox on each level, and money you can find by destroying objects. Then you can engineer the machine and get this awkward end of level data. Overall, for a kids game based on Ed, Ed, and Eddy, the concept is interesting. The sound effects are on topic, and the gameplay is at least unique. To top it all off, after you beat the first level, you get access to the Cul-de-sac hub, and it is unironically the best thing about this game. The Cul-de-sac is faithfully redesigned in this game and hits my nostalgia right in the gut every time I see it. In the Cul-de-sac, you have access to every scam. The park has a jawbreaker machine where you can spend the money you collected to gain internationally produced jawbreakers, and movie booths where you can watch special movies that you collect from the Easter eggs. Wait, did I forget to talk about the Easter eggs? In each main scam is a chicken you can try to catch with Ed. If you catch them, you gain access to movies and silly bonuses like big head mode, small head mode, and some outfits.
I'm afraid I can't help you with that.
Do they know how horrifying that looks? Jesus Christ. Alright, walking around the cul-de-sac, you will see these arrows pointing downwards. These are your level selects. The problem is, they don't tell you what level you are going to, or if it is one you already completed. So you might find yourself going back to the first level by accident. But after you see the second level is pointing towards the sewer gate, you will wish you went back to the first level. Level 2 is the worst level in the entire game. So what's the scam for level 2?
Ah, Ed boys. Cast aside like old bathwater that has not been used for broth. Pale Jimmy refuses the nincompoops from entering his celebration. Hello. Goodbye!
What? Wait a minute! We can't let a chump like Rolf keep us from this party! We gotta get in there!
Oh, I know! We can crawl through the stinky sewers like the bacteria-fusing blob in I Was a Teenage Sludge Hippie!
I don't know. It seems terribly risky and unsanitary, to say the least.
It'll be a cinch! Come on, boys! We got a party to catch!
Okay, 1, breaking and entering is not a scam. 2, sewer levels are automatically suck, and this one is no exception. 3, what kind of enemies have we been seeing in this game? Squirrels? Dogs? A fucking crocodile? Of course. Rather than having the neighborhood kids you scam be the enemies, the main enemies you will be fighting are sewer rats, clams, and sewer gators. This level is really boring. It is the one I always hated going through as a kid, as there is no scam, no fun puzzles, just a bunch of boring enemy types in a gross environment. Why are you eating a jawbreaker you found in the sewer? All of this effort so we can sneak into a birthday party in order to steal the candy from Jimmy's piñatas. You know what? I completely understand why the Eds are hated. They threaten Plank's life in this mission, steal from Jimmy's party, and attack women all in one level.
Nice job. Too bad the party's over, dorks.
We did it. We suffered through the worst level in the Ed, Ed and Eddy video game. After playing that level, is there any reason to continue playing the game? Actually, yeah. Every scam after level 2 is honestly well designed. The next levels will either have gameplay sections that take advantage of each of the Ed's powers, or just have some sick scenarios that feel like episodes of the show. Scam 3, Must Be Something I Ed, is the next non-scam where the Eds need to get to the candy store before it closes, as it turns out to be Customer Appreciation Day. Well, this is taken directly from the episode Don't Rain on My Ed, but does take the story on a different route.
Seconds left! Stitch! I've got a stitch!
There it is! I see it! Come on, hurry up!
Saw! I can't go on!
Jawbreaker Double D!
This mission has a ton of concepts you will only perform once in the entire game, making me think they actually had more levels planned but might have run out of time or money to make those levels.
Behind me. Knock him down and I'll let you pass. If not, you losers won't be going anywhere.
This scam gives you opportunities to use all of your Ed's abilities, and honestly has some pretty good level design. Except for this tree part with the respawning enemies. I hated this part as a kid. You'll use the Tower of Eddy a lot in this scam to cross platforms, grab high up items, god damn it! And for stealth purposes. You ask yourself, why do the Eds need to be stealthy? Well, this mission actually has 2 phases. Unlike in the show, which, by the way, this is in the top 5 scenes in all of Ed, Ed and Eddy.
We're almost there! I'm drooling, I tell ya! Come to Papa, my baby! You gotta be kidding me!
It was never meant to be! Fate has conspired against us!
Jawbreakers!
The Eds actually do make it to the candy shop and get free jawbreakers. The jawbreakers, however, are the famous athlete's foot flavor, which causes Eddy to turn into this. So now you must go back through the entire level, but using stealth as you pass many kids on your first time through. As a child, I missed pretty much all the hidden jawbreakers in this scam. Now, the reason I missed most of them is because this level has a lot of one-time use abilities that never appear in the game again. First being the Tower of Eddy stealth move that never happens anywhere else in the game. Also, for speedrunners, I found this glitch where if you get spotted just as you hide, you can completely break the game and have infinite stealth for the rest of the level. The next one-time use move was actually something I saw in the trailer bonus footage.
When you need brains, Double D can make things go. And in a pinch, he can pull out his trusty slingshot.
On this level, only during the second part where Eddy is green, the school randomly has a bell. Going to the candy store, this bell does not exist, so it is easy to miss. This is the only time in the game you will hit a bell like this to distract a character. If you do so, Naz drops a jawbreaker. Another one-time interaction is this side route where a chicken is. On the second part, if you come back here, there will just be a jawbreaker instead of a chicken. Here is the biggest surprise. In the entirety of this game, Eddy's El Mondo Stink Bomb is pretty much useless. Getting that range stun is just slower than any other method in the game. But for this one part, in this one level, you can use the El Mondo Stink Bomb to scare off Jimmy and Sarah, and that is where the final jawbreaker will be hidden.
Yep,
Eddie, Jimmy was just eating that. Are you really going to put that? Oh my God, he ate it. You did it. You completed the scam with the most well-hidden jawbreakers. All right, to give credit where credit is due, the game seems to be trying a lot of different things. We just went through a level that uses most of the Ed's abilities and manages to get use out of the same level twice with the stealth mechanic that we never see again. Does the game continue to improve and develop more challenges with its puzzle platformer gameplay? Hell yes it does. Scam 4, Ed on Arrival, is the best scam in the game. The fourth scam has the Ed's witness Rolf's sweet Urban Ranger badge, and Eddie wants to get one for himself. This seems loosely based on the episode where Eddie wants to get an Urban Ranger uniform.
Would you and your fellow Ed boys like to wear our uniform? Come, I invite you to the privilege to earn one badge, and you too will become Urban Rangers.
But I like being Ed.
One badge for a cool uniform?
Huh.
It's a steal!
But change the goal to getting a single badge. Once again, this is not a scam, but the level is a well thought out obstacle course where every ability will need to be used to solve the puzzles. As a kid, I honestly could not get one of the hidden jawbreakers here consistently. I also struggled to find the sandbox on this level, which hides the costume pieces we need to unlock bonus levels.
Dig a hole.
Eventually, after many failed attempts, I managed to figure out what the level wanted from me. So, what about this scam really excited little Cooper as he was growing up? For one, this level uses a lot of characters from the show for funny minigames and gives us our first main scam mini boss battle. In this scam, you will destroy Jimmy's head with Ed's iron skull. You will destroy Victor the Goat's head in a mini boss battle with Ed's iron skull. And finally, you will defeat Kevin in a race with Ed's iron skull. The Victor boss battle is honestly nothing, but it does at least change the gameplay, and racing Kevin as a kid was pretty hard. It's real easy to steer Ed into pitfalls, and getting that last hidden jawbreaker could really slow you down in the race. Overall, this level offered new events that really helped it stand out from the rest. The game actually did it. It was creative, pretty fun, and made kids use problem-solving skills to get that hidden jawbreaker. Overall, I am shocked I have anything this positive to say about a PS2 cartoon cash grab. How the heck can the fifth scam measure up to this? Scam 5, Nightmare on Ed Street, is almost completely based on the episode Honor Thy Ed, an episode from the show that had some incredible sequences and also one of the most dire endings for the Eds.
Where'd this come from?
My clothes! They're gone! I'm naked!
Barnacle.
Oh, it's a nightmare, I tell you.
Is it Valentine's Day?
One change with the game is that the Eds go into the haunted house to get Mr. Yum Yum, Jimmy's rabbit, for a quarter. This is almost a scam, as Eddie did steal the rabbit ahead of time to ransom it in this way, but honestly it just seems more like stealing at this point.
Upon delivery, and it better be in one piece too.
Fine! You miserable little runt.
Is Nightmare on Ed Street a good level? Honestly, it's not bad. It has a fun horror motif, and the atmosphere of the level is pretty cool. The Eds get jumped by the cankers inside the old house and have to give them boyfriend presents, or else the girls will have their way with them. To prove their point, they created something I like to call the lights of consent. Because if you enter that light, they'll consider that you giving them consent, no matter what you say afterward. The level uses all the Ed's abilities, but does give some extra love to Double D, as he will have parts of the game where he gets to go it alone to solve puzzles. If you collect the boyfriend presents, which are references to the show, you will get to see the cankers completely zonk out. Like they're under some crazy hypnosis or something. Of course, the level does have some challenging parts, but overall, it is alright. This level is mostly carried by the sound design and the canker jump scares though. If you beat the level, you will get to see another ending cutscene where something had to go wrong to ruin the scam. Just like the real show, the game does not like letting the Eds have a successful scam.
Mr. Yum Yum, safe, sound, and snuggly.
Hey, you owe us a quarter!
Scam 6, everybody. Ed marks the spot. This is probably the second worst scam in the game, and that is for multiple reasons. Scam 6 is the final level of the game. I know, that is absolutely ridiculous. I think my parents paid $40 to get me this game as a kid, and you can beat the entire main story and hit the credits in just over 1 hour. If you 100% the game, it probably would take like 3 hours, but that's still absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable. However, that's not what makes the level bad. The level is bad because the scam is stupid, and the level is filled with obstacles not designed for these clunky controls. First things first.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Why is the scam stupid? Well, it starts with Eddy revealing he had a secret stash of jawbreakers he was ready to share with his friends. 1. Eddy is an established character with little to no impulse control. Those jawbreakers would have been eaten. 2. Somebody apparently broke into Eddy's room and just took his stash of jawbreakers, which doesn't make any sense when you find out who broke into his room. It's really obvious. This scam is extremely long and has tons of puzzle platforming challenges to complete. Some of them can be fun, but most just suffer because of how bad these controls are. This one part with Jimmy alone always took me multiple attempts as a kid because of this weird gravitational pull that would drag the Eds to their death. It also reuses the Victor boss battle on a gigantic stage. It's really easy, but has one of the best hidden jawbreakers to go along with it. If you beat Victor, you'll be prompted with a choice to fight him again. If you say no, you will get the last map piece and enter the final area of the scam. This is how they trick you, because if you say yes, you will do the exact same boss battle over again, except now a hidden jawbreaker will appear after you say no a second time. You could fight Victor again after this if you want to get some extra money to spawn when you say no. Whatever you do, don't touch the map before eating the jawbreaker. You will have to do the whole level over again. Alright, this is the last section of the game. You find out the Kankers broke into Eddy's room to steal his jawbreakers and left him a piece of a torn up map that ends up just being a joke. This scam is so dumb. You now have to break through multiple doors under a tight time limit and make it to the final boss of the game. Here we go. Okay, how did all those jawbreakers fit in a suitcase under his bed? No, don't question it. Just beat up the Kankers.
Oh!
Jawbreakers! Quick, grab them! Quick, let's get out of here! What the?
I don't like the implications of this!
Let's get this party started!
That was Yer Ed and Eddy The Mis-Edventures. Brought to you by your favorite developer, Ass to Mouth Montreal. If you just played through this story the same way I showed it, then you probably just wasted an hour of your life. But it isn't over yet. There are 2 bonus missions that exist in this game. Are they worth looking at? Do they offer anything other than 100% completion? Surprisingly, yeah, they kind of do. The first bonus mission you unlock is by getting the costume pieces in the first 3 scams. This creates the Edzilla level. Edzilla is loosely based on the Edtropolis episode where the Eds create a city. For some unknown reason, Ed, the lovable oaf, goes insane and decides to put on a Godzilla-like outfit.
Genius, I tell ya.
I have to admit, you can resist the allure of big city architecture, big city theater, big city culture.
Big city scams. Check out Lumpy. He's got that look in his eyes.
Oh, dear. Ed, would you care for a glass of cool lemonade?
I am a monster!
This mission is really cool. You get a black and white aesthetic where Ed goes through a bunch of cities destroying every building in sight. Jimmy's army of tanks will try to stop you from destroying the city, but overall you basically get to play as an overpowered beast, laying waste to everything. It's a short level, so playing it once can be pretty fun and has some silly decor like the statue of Johnny. At the end of the level, you get to fight a boss battle against the Kankerator. This fight is pretty tough for a kid and honestly looks really cool. Overall, the first bonus mission is a nice quick change of pace.
Did you see that? It's an animal.
We can be worrisome at times.
I am a monster in a boy's body.
The second bonus mission is the very last mission in the game. You must collect the costume pieces from scams 4 through 6. After that, you get access to the Rebel Robot Ranch, a reference to the movie Ed and friends wanted to see in the actual show. This mission is really interesting. You start the mission with Ed captured, leaving you with only Double D and Eddy to play as. In this mission, all your characters get new weapons and moves. Eddy still uses a Saturn-like paddle ball as his main attack, but his stink bombs are switched out with plasma grenades. These grenades do the same thing as stink bombs though, so they're not that special. Double D gets the biggest changes. His ruler attack becomes a literal lightsaber, and his slingshot changes into a subatomic blaster. This new blaster can actually kill enemies from range and turns Double D from the worst character in the game to play as into the best character. Like the Edzilla level, Rebel Robot Ranch is incredibly creative and makes me believe the developers of this game had some real ambitious ideas. Honestly, this creativity shows that this did not have to be another cartoon cash grab game. It could have been something pretty special with just a little more time and money. No matter how much I criticize the developer or producer, the people making this game did have some potential. Now, Rebel Robot Ranch is the second longest level in the game. You spend the entire first part of the game fighting hordes of robot dogs, robot turrets, and robot guards, hacking your way into the facility that houses clones of Jimmy and our dear friend Ed. After saving Ed, he becomes playable.
Are you okay, Ed?
Oh, you stopped it. I want to go again.
Enough of that, guys. We still need to find the space rocket so we can get out of here.
Okay, Eddie.
Ed looks different with his space outfit, but overall plays exactly the same as before. With Ed saved, you need to find the rebel robot leader and destroy them to escape the planet. This is where the creativity of the level falls apart. The true final boss of this game is the Rebel Robot Rancher, and he is a bitch to fight. He has mounted turrets all around the boss arena and can also attack with his own laser blasters. The idea of the boss battle is to use Double D to hack the turrets so they can destroy the boss. You don't really have enough time to hack them, and even if you do, the boss barely takes any damage before destroying the hacked turrets. I used to die to this boss all the time as a kid. It was so unfair that I eventually found a way to cheat the boss battle, as it was honestly the only way I could consistently beat the boss. After you destroy the rebel robot rancher, the game is truly over. You beat every scam, you found every chicken, you found every secret jawbreaker. But wait, what about those 3 Easter eggs that unlock movies in the cul-de-sac? Well, those rewards are honestly purely time capsules. The first movie you unlock is the full Cartoon Network short, My Best Friend Plank. A short that used to play on Cartoon Network that absolutely became a meme among my group of friends before we even had access to the internet. Watching this short today would probably just confuse kids, but to me, it brings me back to middle school singing the song in a joking way before class. You just had to be there. The second movie you can unlock was supposed to be an interview with the show's cast, as they did voice acting for this game. But the PS2 version just cuts out after the main characters introduce themselves. You can find the full interview on YouTube, and it is honestly pretty interesting to watch. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out if you want to check out the behind the scenes developments. The final movie you unlock is the actual commercial that used to air on Cartoon Network advertising this game. It is really interesting to watch, as the version of the game in the commercial was definitely an older build, as many areas, moves, and the actual HUD had changed by the time the game actually released. This game is really nostalgic for me. Getting all the bonus items, unlocking all the movies, and collecting all the jawbreakers, it just brings me back. Funny enough, this game also released on the GBA, but it was completely different. The game was just another 2D level hopper like all the other Ed, Ed and Eddy games, and wasn't nearly as special as the game we got on home consoles. I guess if there is anything left to look at, it would be the funny references you can find after collecting all the jawbreakers. The ones you find in levels are all different flavors and typically mention a quote from the show. The jawbreakers you buy from the jawbreaker machine give you the international flavors, typically referencing something from the culture or just quoting something the Ed said in the actual show. I bet you are wondering, do you get anything for 100%ing the game? The answer is surprisingly yes. If you 100% this game, you unlock a cheat menu where you can make the Eds completely invisible to enemies. This cheat makes many of the missions utter jokes, as the kids and boss battles will completely ignore you. You can also turn on unlimited damage, which makes all of your attacks one-shot enemies, including the boss battles. The last cheat you unlock is faster running speed. This cheat completely changes the game. With this cheat code, you can get the Eds to move so fast that parts of the level will struggle to load in. It is super funny, and if you practice at it and have all the cheats on, you can beat the entire game in like 10 minutes. So, what is there left to say about Ed, Ed and Eddy The Mis-Edventures? Well, the game attempted to do something really unique with multiple playable characters. The scams ranged from creatively bankrupt like the sewer level to incredibly remarkable like the urban ranger level. Is the game faithful to the show? I would say yes. A lot of the levels do feel like you're playing episodes of the show. Is the game good? Oh hell no. I love this game, but I'm not a complete moron. Any game you can beat in an hour, 100% in 3 hours, or cheat your way through in 10 minutes is pretty fucking bad. It is what it is. A bad game that I have really fond memories of, and I truly love.